Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Politics Tonight, where we dig and go beyond the headlines for informed analysis of major political stories in Nigeria. And tonight we focused on the uproar over the sack of elected local government chairmen in Benue State. And I've been speaking with a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Daniel Onje. Mr. Daniel, earlier before we went on that break, you said the caretaker committee has been inaugurated today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. But why is the governor's own party members against the nomination?
That may be a segment of the party faithful that probably lost out in their interest. We can't all occupy the same office. So many people are spare, but only one person will get into the position to occupy. The party, under the leadership of the state chairman, initiated a meeting of an expanded stakeholders meeting in Benue State, which attracted all the critical stakeholders in the states in Makurdi under one roof to deliberate on the modalities for appointing the caretaker committee for the local government. And the governor, in his wisdom, decided to allow the party, to give free hands to the party to operate, even though it is his prerogative or within his powers to pick just anyone he feels he can work with. But he gave free hands to the party. He asked the party to go nominate 3 persons for each positions, so that out of the 3, he can pick one for each of the positions. And on the very day of the stakeholders meeting, he asked the list be submitted to him. So all the local governments that came retired back to their various camps and groups to make decisions and submit 3 names for the caretaker chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and of course the supervisory councillors. These names were submitted to the governor, and it was out of these 3 names each for the local government that the governor picked one candidate for the various offices. How has he gone wrong? How else can a man be fair? That was exactly what the governor did. So those who lost out, who expected their candidate ought to have made it to the various positions, that didn't get that done, and most especially those who felt they were really very close, they are really very close to father, and that ought to have been, they ought to have been considered. But father is not playing politics of sentiment. It is not, for him, it is not business as usual. He's a man who has said repeatedly that after his stewardship as the governor of Benue State, he's going to return back to his calling as a clergyman. He's going back to the altar to serve mass. The reverend gentleman is a priest of Catholic Church. We are all aware. He served for 32 years before he contested and won the governor. So he's very experienced in handling people, in dealing with people, and that is why, it appears that certain people are taking him for granted because they feel he's a priest. I mean, this can be done to other governors elsewhere in other states. It can be done. He is not coming to constitute caretaker because he wants to be in control like other governors would do. No, that's not his intention. It's just that that is the only option left for him. Because these people have been, a prima facie case have been established against them of corruption. You can't leave them for the sake of being politically correct. You just want to leave them. You can't leave them. You have to do something. It's either you appoint sole administrators like Peter Obi did in Anambra, or the caretaker committee. And he can't even constitute a transition committee because there's no transition here. If he dissolved them, there will have been a transition committee. But it's not a transition committee, just caretaker. watch after the house, so that we prevent a vacuum in the administration of the local government system. The DGSAs that are there manning the local government right now are very, very limited in their powers. So if you don't get an administrator to administer the local government, then you'll be stagnating the growth of the local government. And the locals will be feeling the negative impact of that. If the governor wanted, because with the DGSAs that are very limited in the powers for the operations, if the governor were to be selfish and is not operating a transparent and open door policy, the law backs him through his special advisor on local government and chieftaincy to pass directive to the DGSAs. So he can continue like that without constituting the caretaker committee, and he will be administering the 23 local government alone. But he felt the political space should be open for participation, so that other people can contribute their quota to the development of the local government. Like I've told you, just watch and see what happens in the next few months with this caretaker committee against those who are claiming to have been elected. In the first place, is there any election in the local government the local government system in Nigeria? Is there really any elections? Names were written. Did anybody compete with these people? Names were written in Benue State. And these same people that fleece public funds want to perpetuate themselves in office so that they can frustrate the administration of Governor Hyacinth Alia. He's been very resolute. He's not bothered about this. Governor Hyacinth Alia knows that President Bola Tinubu is a seasoned politician, seasoned administrator, seasoned public servant. He knows more than those who are pushing him to carry out such directive by suspending the allocation of Benue State local government. He knows more than that. Mr. President will not play to the gallery. While the governor of Lagos State, he created more states, and the federal government suspended allocations to the Lagos State. The Attorney General of Lagos State sued the federal government. They joined the Attorney General of the Federation, and Lagos State won the case, and the Supreme Court directed that they be paid their money. And also the Supreme Court has held that Mr. President has no powers to withhold or suspend the allocation of any tier of the government.